Spoiler warning, I can tell ya! Woo! Spoiler stuff! Whoa! My God, I'm a broken man. I am a man that no longer functions at 100% capacity. I will forever be scarred and brought down to a measly 98% of my full power. That's how broken I am. I'm more broken than the last time I got a death threat on Twitter, which actually was this morning, funnily enough. That happened today also, so I guess not that long of a time, I suppose. But anyway, you're not here to let me talk about the people that want me dead. You're here to talk about other people that died. I just watched the first episode of Oshi, and I cannot hold myself back from talking about why it deserves the hype. As of right now, Oshi is the #1 rated anime on all of my anime lists. It beats out Attack on Titan, all 9 seasons of Gintama that are somehow taking up the top 10, and And now I know what you're thinking, bro. Interspecies Reviewers was also the #1 rated anime of all time, and this wasn't some troll, some flim-flam, some bamboozle, hosted by probably the greatest criminal mind the generation has ever seen, cough cough, me 5 years ago. This is natural. For those of you that haven't seen Oshi yet, you can watch the first majority of this video. I'm only going to be getting into spoiler territory of the first episode. That's right, you know if I'm worried about spoiling an episode 1, you know that there's some mad shiz flying around. I will get to that spoilery part towards the end of this, but I really needed to make this video praising and just talking about the best anime pilot I've ever seen in my life. This is a PSA. This is a public service announcement to every single person that has ADHD like I do, and 20 minutes in will be like, well, the first episode is an hour and a half long. I'm not going to continue it because the first 20 minutes of the episode didn't hook me. To all of those guys, you're the ones that need to watch this video. The basic plot of the story follows this doctor. What? An adult as the main character of a story about idols? This isn't good. So this doctor dude, he had a patient who died of cancer. It was all terribly sad, and this patient basically lived vicariously through this idol. She believed in this idol. This idol gave her life until she took her final breath. And it's incredibly sad, but the doctor who stayed with her and formed some sort of bond with her all this time, he continued rooting for for the next couple of years after her death, basically as a way to keep her memory alive, which is why he's all too surprised when the idol shows up in his hospital. Yeah, he's just in the middle of a town and bumfuck nowhere. Why is the idol coming here? Because the idol has a secret. After the idol announced to the public she has taken a 6-month break due to health conditions, turns out it wasn't health conditions. She was simultaneously the most and least relatable character of all time. Relatable because she was horny, and not relatable because she actually got some. Damn, that sounds like much less of a zinger than just a very, very sad statement, doesn't it? Anywho, she shows up to the hospital, she's carrying twins, and the doctor's like, I'm a simp. Yes, of course, relatable, yes, and not that I would ever simp for somebody, never.
Don't look at my Twitter, editor, don't show anything on my Twitter right now.
The premise gets even cringier. Originally, when I got to this point of the story, I'm going to talk through my mindset going through the episode as well, because that's, in my opinion, one of the most interesting aspects, how my appreciation of the story changed, let alone what the story actually became. At this point, I thought the story would be about the media shitstorm. See, I know a thing or two about media shitstorms. I know a thing or two about being canceled, and I know a thing or two about not living up to some sort of hopes of some nebulous body of fans that don't really necessarily want what's best of you. I say that having in mind that I probably have some of the most reasonable fans in the history of the world. Like, you guys are absolutely awesome. When I get canceled, you actually stand by me and shut up until I respond and vindicate myself, and you were all like, yeah, I didn't jump on the bandwagon. Now, a lot of people did, mind you, but a lot of you didn't, and I really appreciate that. So I thought this would be an anime that's incredibly well praised for the take it has on cancel culture and the internet, the online world, mobs, stans, fans, and don't get me wrong, it did super well, but that's not even why this show is a masterpiece. She's there, she knows she has to lie to the world because, well, she's an idol. Idols can't have kids. Idols are preying on the parasocial relationship they're having with people that look up to them. This idol, by having kids, let alone a boyfriend, it ruins that perfect fantasy for the average viewer of this idol, so she has to play that lying game of betraying her audience, but only in secret. If she were to publicize it, not only would she ruin her career, but she would put her own life into jeopardy, as well, fans like taking things to extremes. When I got into my drama, which sucked, obviously, there were people trying to dox me. I did get swatted. I could totally understand and respect the concept of an anime following the idea of don't go too far. And how the audience, while it's true, you have 1 million fans, 999,000 of those million fans are gonna be decent, respectable people. But that still leaves 1,000 psychopaths out there, and 100 that might actually try something dangerous, and 1 that might succeed. It's a really scary mindset that I think every YouTuber does have, no matter what size they are. Obviously, it grows in paranoia as the YouTuber grows, and as their haters grow, and as more people decide they would rather them be dead. To the people that she sees as an idol, she is a professional liar. It comes from a really sad upbringing where, unfortunately, in her upbringing, she didn't really have anyone to bring her up. The way she views it, telling her audience, I love you, is a lie, but that lie is sort of love. Even though she doesn't mean it, maybe they feel like they're receiving it somehow. It's the ultimate cursed parasocial relationship that I think every YouTuber should disavow, and it's one of the reasons why I really dislike idol culture in Japan. The fact that there's so much control over the lives of these idols is so medieval and twisted. That's a whole other video and scenario. The point is it exists, and this is a really good insight into what that industry actually looks like. A lot of the episode looks at the dark side of the industry, the hate that they get from the public, the lies that they have to tell, and the lies that they have to tell themselves in order to not go completely insane about lying about their entire existence to millions of people that are constantly viewing them and waiting for them to screw up. It is a fantastic, interesting deep dive with an incredibly appealing character, Ai, who's just the right amount of sociopath to be able to juggle not lying and being genuine to the people around her, but also completely lying to all the people around her. It doesn't even bother her for a second to lie. She doesn't have to think about it. Whatever will get her looked at in the best light, those words will come out of her mouth no matter what she actually believes in, and she tells herself that lying is the form of love that she can actually express to people. Moving on to the rest of the plot part of the episode, the doctor dude sees the stalker dude stalking Ai, and he's like, oh, this is very bad. I am a stan, and this dude, it could be a threat. So he ends up chasing the stalker guy into the woods. The stalker guy basically turns around and pushes him off a cliff, and the doctor guy dies. And I'm like, oh no, isekai time, baby. That's right, isekai time as a baby. The doctor got reincarnated as one of the twins of the idol. The other twin, of course, is the reincarnation of the cancer girl that died that was also a stan a while ago, but they don't know that about each other yet. They just know that they are reincarnations of some sort. They don't talk about their pasts at all. Probably to keep the suspense going so that there could be like a Spy X Family kind of dynamic where they both don't exactly know who each other are or how they knew each other in a past life, but they did. Anyway, the babies are super geniuses. They retained all their information that they've had in their lives until that point, so they're freaking 1 day old, but they know how to speak. They know who their mom is. They understand things. They're geniuses. I am crying and swimpering right now because of how cringe this concept is. When I got to this point of the anime, I stopped. My editor told me to watch it, and I messaged my editor, Stevie. I'm like, yo, Stevie, listen, bro. The dude is a simp of this lady, and then he dies and gets reincarnated as the baby of that lady, and like, he sees her boobs. It gets all blushy and stuff. It's the weirdest freaking concept plot in the world. I paused it, and I was like, I can't actually watch this. It's a meme. There's no shot this anime is the highest rated anime on my anime list. It's so beloved by so many people. My editor told me to watch it. There is no shot this is actually good. It's the most cringe concept in the world. In the world! Little did I know, it really needed to be this way for the overarching story. This is where all of my fellow ADHD friends that just wanted to kind of see what this is about, this is where they'll all drop it. Unless they have peer pressure of some sort, or I wanted to make a review on the first episode, I really wanted to finish this episode. This is an anime you could never, ever, ever, ever recommend to anyone based on what actually goes on in the story. You could never say, yo, bro, you have to check out this anime, Oshi no Ko. It's actually so good. I'm loving it. It's a story about this dude who's a big simp for an idol girl who's 16 and pregnant, and then he dies, and the idol girl gives birth to a reincarnation of him, but he maintains all of his past stuff, and now the baby is a simp for the mom. You try getting someone to watch a show you recommend like that. It was a grave error made to me. Luckily, that's not really what the show is really about. The rest of the episode takes place over the next couple of years as the babies are slowly growing up, and as the idol girl has to constantly be jumping between being a mom and being an idol. You got a fantastic art style the entire way through. You got vivid animation, beautiful colors, fantastic music, amazing choreography, all the beautiful jaw-dropping stuff that you need in an anime that's gonna become an absolute cult classic. Over the course of these next couple of years, Ai gets a little older and starts fitting into her mothering stage, and we get to understand how she became an idol in the first place, place where her manager told her, you're supposed to lie to your audience. Lying is this form of love, and that's kind of what she made her mantra for her entire life. Since we're able to actually view this part of the story through the eyes of these kids, since remember, the main character is the doctor who died and got reincarnated as the baby. It's so weird to say. It's so weird to even say that. Yes, the main character of the story is Aqua, not the useless goddess from Konosuba, the incredibly useful child. By the age of 3, he was already given a completely supportive role in some horror movie because of how terrifying it is that this child is using all these incredibly fancy words. There's some incredibly wholesome and touching moments between Ruby and the mom, between Aqua and the mom, between the mom herself, just believing in who she is and starting to appreciate and value something. Maybe get to the point where her love is actually not a lie. And that's when everything goes wrong. It's just so heartbreaking for so many reasons. What cursed, disgusting, horrible, treacherous deity would bring this person back as the child of an idol to watch her die when he's a baby? You think Ruby didn't suffer enough in her past life, dying of cancer, being unable to stand? This entire first episode, this hour and 20-minute episode that could basically be an entire movie in its own right, all acts as a prologue to the incredible story, the riveting, heart-wrenching tale of Aqua's quest to find the real reason why his mom died. Because this Stan that killed her mom, he killed himself afterwards. But how do you know where she was? How do you know where her house is? How did he know where the hospital was? Because it's the same fan that killed the doctor dude that was stalking her in the hospital a bunch of years before that. His only lead is he has a new purpose in life and he has a new goal. He is going to plot his entire life into infiltrating the entertainment industry by any means necessary, because that's obviously where this man is located if he would have gotten all this information about her and gotten this close to her, because as you know, idols are super sheltered. She didn't even have like friends out of the industry and had to share this Aqua fellow's DNA. He has these two leads and he is going to do anything by any means to get his absolute, utter revenge. This opening episode sets up potentially the greatest possible revenge narrative centered in the entertainment industry in Japan. Just thinking about the final moments of Ai's life as her soul started exiting her body and she looks towards her children and she says, I feel like no other possible setup would have been as prudent or perfect to create this incredible drama. This bond beyond life itself between his brother and sister. This motivation so raw and real of Aqua. The only person that could possibly know that there was another culprit involved in the murder of his mother. It just looked like some deranged fan who then killed himself. It's only him that knew that this fan showed up to the hospital 3 years earlier and killed him. There is no possible way this setup could be done right in any other fashion aside from the seemingly cringe overall plot. If the beautiful art style, if the incredible music, if the fantastically uncanny depiction of real life cancellations, social media, Twitter mobs, and apt caricatures of people that work in the entertainment industry are like, the manipulation that every single character in this industry actually is doing on a day-to-day basis. In the ultimate supernatural crime mystery drama thriller, I am floored and excited to see what comes next. If you watched the entire first episode of Oshi no Ko and it did not break you, seek therapy. And also, if you watch it and it did break you, also seek therapy, because goddamn, you'll probably need it. This thing shattered my face. And definitely subscribe, because I will be covering this story again in the future. I'm gonna be doing a specific analysis on the main character himself. But that's it for today. Leave a like, subscribe. Toodles, gamers, stay weird, fam.